Sanye Jolam Soge Chonamla Chanchu Padani Dagi Soge Besonamke Jolam Venture Sanye Lupansho Sanye Jolam Soge Chonamla Chanchu Padani Kapsushi Dagi Soge Besonamke Jolam Venture Sanye Lupansho Sanye Sholam Soge Chonamla Chanchu Badu Dani Kapsuchi Dagi Soge Besonamke Dora Venture Sangye Lupasho. I go for refuge in Samanla, I go to the Dharma and Sangha, on my accumulations of Christ with him and so forth, and I become Buddha with all sentient beings. I go for refuge in Samanla, to the Buddha, the Dharma and Sangha, by accumulations of Christ with him and so forth, and I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge in Samanla, to the Buddha, the Dharma and Sangha, by accumulations of Christ with him and so forth, and I become Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Om Yedama Etu Brahmana Etum Desham Tathagato Yavata Desham Chayo Niroda Evam Bhagi Mahashramana Yeswa Page 203. Page 203. Okay, page 203. This is the compilation of the important passages from Buddha's teaching sutras and also from the teaching of great masters, Indian masters, Tibetan masters. This will be very helpful if this is precisely related to the Bodhicitta, the emptiness practice and practice of the wisdom of emptiness. And this will be very helpful for invigorating your the inclination towards the wisdom of emptiness, directly or indirectly. This will be very helpful. And where, if you need a little bit help or explanation, just don't hesitate to ask me. Otherwise, we'll read through this. Only just a few pages. From page 203 to 209. But the first example, the first passage, the sutra. First passage, what it says is that the Buddha is comparing between the merits accumulated by the two bodhisattvas. one Bodhisattva who generated Bodhicitta or who became Bodhisattva for many lifetimes, who yet not realized emptiness. Then another Bodhisattva who became Bodhisattva very recently with the realization of emptiness. And the merit accumulation of the two, the Buddha said that the merit accumulated by the Bodhisattva who generated, who with the wisdom of emptiness, who became Bodhisattva just recently, that merit far excels merit accumulated by the Bodhisattva who had been Bodhisattva for the last many eons. So which means that the difference is made purely because of the wisdom of emptiness. So therefore, if the whole point, finally the merit that we accumulate with the help of the wisdom of emptiness is going to be far more intense, more numerous, and more powerful than the merit accumulated without the wisdom of emptiness. So, seeing this, let's see how to generate the mystical wisdom of emptiness as soon as possible. This is what they do. And then some people, they see the wisdom of emptiness, but these things are very basic. The symbol teaching. No, there's no totally the symbol. And this is where we get stuck. And many people in the first place, they don't show any interest in this. And some people, what is this? Practice directly, and they think that wisdom of emptiness can be practiced without having to study. Unfortunately, it's never the case. And there's some people, I would say, they say who may not have the experience of emptiness, and so forth, but somehow the devotion is so great, and the basic trend of mind is in line with the dharma, which means very kind, gentle, and the tremendous faith, stable faith. That's so precious. And that we have in the so precious. For example, this is something common. What I would say is that this is something common to all religions, even in other religions, where some people they are so much into the faith and then can become really fanatics. That's very dangerous. Whereas in all religions, including Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Jainism, there are people who are very devoted to their own religion and then meanwhile being very kind, helpful, not at all harming others. This trend of thinking is so precious, no matter whatever religion they're going to follow, is so good. So if this is your nature, and then you go into Tantra, it's fine. Whereas oftentimes what happens is that this is not your nature. For example, you just plunge into Tantra because this is something so special, something very high teaching, you plunge into it, and then basic trend of your thinking is not that, not really compassionate, not really gentle, understanding. Whereas some people, they have these qualities. For these people, and then there's no danger of going off the track and going to religious fundamentalism, or just go to the extreme. There's no danger. So these people, they're fine. And although one may not really get to a very high realization in Tantra, but of course the blessings are there. But then, without this basic gentleness of the person, and then we jump into Tantra, it can be more dangerous than harm. Whereas those people who have the basic gentleness there, and very stable, devoted, and very consistent in the practice with tremendous devotion, not exploiting Tantra, see the Tantra as it is. That's so precious. And such people are so rare. Okay, for the rest of us, like me, the best thing is study emptiness, get bodhicitta. And then go to Tantra, no danger. Otherwise, there's every danger that it can be very destructive on yourself. Okay, for example, I see, even in this group, I see there's some who are really very gentle, kind, very warm-hearted,
and then into Tantra. I really appreciate these people. Okay, but the point is that let us not expect that we are all like that. There are some who are that kind. I really appreciate them. For them it's fine to do Tantra even without the heavy development. It's completely fine. But they have, although the development is not complete, but then they have the desire to follow the wisdom emptiness, to follow the Bodhicitta. This is so precious. Okay. And now the wisdom emptiness, finally the wisdom emptiness, that is like the fabric of the Buddha Dharma. As we learned that the liberating path is the wisdom emptiness and all other paths are the ripening paths. So with this mind, we'll recite the following stanzas together. Given by the precious Shal Sutra, Manjushri, whoever listens even in doubt to this teaching on emptiness, there is much greater merit than the Bodhisattva who, like the student beings, practices this profession for 100,000 eons. This being so, one needs never say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt. One needs never say anything about a person who imparts the scripture in writing and memorizes it and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others. The treasury of One Daskon Sutra. Any person who possesses all these 10 great virtues enters into the teaching of self-existence and is faith in conviction that all phenomena form beginning pure does not fulfill married birth. Section on subduing Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena absolutely pacify the inherent existence and the beginning of defilements is devoid of self-nature, they remove the guilt of having defilements and make unskillful defilements, thus dealing every imaginable negativity is dysfunctional. That the world is secondary wrongs and dance associated with ethics and rituals. I will give us 400 verses on the middle way. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt incur in this dharma of ultimate reality. Should incur ever in Christ in someone with sharpness and sorrow to pieces. Acharya Chandra entering the middle way. Even as the ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, if one experiences with an utter joy again and again, tears flowing from such pure joy most in one's eyes, and one's head stands in end, one is received the wisdom of full awakening. Upali requests Sutra. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden and roses them so alluring. For none of these is their creator, they are wanted by the power of God. It is true for such realization that the world is inferior. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance and the fundamental wisdom of the Healing Sutra. The mind is demanding its true true self. They are wrong view. His constitution is empty. There is no being in them. Just as one designates the car, it depends upon the relational parts. So the assert that compassion such as being independent negligence. Venerable Shabara's writings. Searching for reality beyond space, one finds not the predicate in the center. All perceptions cease completely. Likewise, through a thorough search of mind and phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is profound, nor seeing anything seeing reality. Saint Salaha's writings. By entering the emptiness by the word of compassion, one will not find the supreme power. When meditating on compassion alone, one will not attain liberation but remains in samsara. One capable of transcending the two, will not remain in samsara and go about the nirvana. Okay, let's see this stanza by the Saint Saraha. Saint Saraha was the teacher of Aranyagārjuna. And of course, Aranyagārjuna, the king of the wisdom of emptiness. The greatest of the commentator, who commented on the Buddha's teachings on emptiness. So the great Saint Saraha. Okay, I don't know how many of you heard about Aranyagārjuna's life story. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, very quickly. Aranyagārjuna, when he was born in a very good family, and the Vela family, and the highly respected family. Then in those days, this was like 2,000 years ago. In those days, the people, they take the children, they take the newborn child to the astrologist to check their life. And then the astrologer predicted that this child was going to live only for 7 days. And then the parents, because the parents they have the wealth, so they requested the astrologer what to do so that the child can live longer. And the astrologer gave some suggestions to engage in the actual generosity, virtues, and so forth, so that the child can live for another 1 week. No, sorry, the 7 months. Then the 7 months quickly passed by. Then again the parents requested for something else to be done to prolong the lifespan of the child, and again suggested that you have to then engage in generosity, virtues by make offerings to the monastics, then to the poor people, and so forth, to on a very large scale. Then the child's life can be extended to 7 years. Beyond this, nothing can be done. This was what is said. Then the parents came the 6 years. Then closer to the 7th year, completion 7th year. Then the parents could not imagine what would the parents' reaction if they see the child dying in front of their eyes. So the parents, they became so desperate. What they did is finally, out of desperation, what they did was they sent the child with the maid, told the maid, okay, you take all this wealth with you and take the child with you, and then when the child dies, then you do the last rites and inform us, I'll take the child away. So they don't want to see the child dying in front of them. And the maid took the child away, and finally the maid met with the great Saint Sarah. And great Saint Sarah asked, because being great saint, he could see what way the child is special. So he asked, where are you taking this child? And narrated all the stories. And the saint said, don't worry, keep the child with me. And the great Saint Sarah, he gave empowerment. Of course, don't think that, okay, some saint gives us empowerment and we'll have a long life. Don't expect that. He's very special, Additionnaly. So he did all these trainings, retreats in the past lives. But he did all this, he did already. So we are doing for the first time. Okay. So then this was what happened. And then he had of course, very long life, and then made a great contribution to the revival of the Mahayana teachings. Okay, this is Additionnaly. And Saint Sarah, he was Additionnaly's one of the teachers. Okay, so here, what we said this morning, again the same thing happening here. By entering into emptiness, but devoted compassion. If somebody has the wisdom of emptiness, but the great compassion, the focus on bodhicitta, great compassion, that is missing, one will not find the supreme path. One will find the path to fearlessness, but one will not find the path to supreme liberation, which is Buddhahood. One, which means missing compassion. You have the wisdom of emptiness, but you are missing compassion. Then you will not find the supreme path. By meditating upon compassion alone, you have the compassion. On the other hand, you have the compassion, but not the wisdom of emptiness. One will not attain liberation. Wisdom of emptiness, forget about Buddhahood, forget about even liberation from samsara will not take place. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two, only when you have the two wings intact, the wisdom of emptiness and the compassion, the bodhicitta, these two things intact, the one capable of grasping the unity of the two will not remain in samsara because of one will not remain in samsara because of wisdom of emptiness, and one will not abide in the personal nirvana because of bodhicitta, compassion. You're getting it? Okay. Okay. So the point is that finally one should be free from. What happens is, okay, let's say that you have the wisdom of emptiness. If the bodhicitta is not there, then the drive to achieve the Buddhahood, drive to eradicate the karmic obscuration doesn't take place. In this case, you will never be free from all the mental stains. In other words, you will never achieve Buddhahood. Whereas if you have the compassion, but you don't have the wisdom of emptiness, then you continue to stay in the dream of self-grasping ignorance. In the dream, you always do something good, helping others and so forth, but you never come out of the dream. And the big dream is samsara. You will never get out of samsara. So you should be like one thing. Then the other thing is that with so much compassion, but without the wisdom of emptiness, then the danger is that with this compassion, one can easily slip into the samsaric problems, easily slip into samsaric drawbacks and drawbacks. Okay. For example, say particularly talking about the subjective clear light. Subjective clear light without realizing the objective clear light. The danger is that the subjective clear light, the experience is so profound. Experience described is so profound and very subtle, and easily you will be trapped there. You will be trapped there if you don't have the wisdom of emptiness. You just have the subject clear light experience, you will easily be trapped because your experience of the external world and experience of the internal world of the subject clear light, internal world of the subject clear light is so subtle, nuanced, subtle, and very peaceful, tranquil. You will easily be trapped there, seeing it as objective real. There's one problem. So, likewise with compassion, where the compassion becomes so intense, again you tend to objectify that. Even the compassion, you tend to objectify the suffering of other sentient beings, you tend to objectify other sentient beings. Again, the objectification happens and you're trapped there. So, the compassion, the subjective clear light, and so forth, they will take you to one experience, and the wisdom of emptiness will take you another. So the balance will be maintained if two of them are together. If not, then either you will be trapped in samsara, or you will never achieve Buddhahood, or these two things. So therefore, again, reminding ourselves, if somebody were to ask you, what is Buddhism? Buddhism is the teaching of the infinite compassion grounded on the wisdom to see the interdependency of oneself and others. Buddhism is a teaching of the infinite compassion for your infinite happiness, which is grounded on the wisdom of interdependency of oneself and others. So this interdependence of oneself and others will give you the skillfulness. So this compassion will become a very skilled compassion, and this compassion can go at infinitely, so that you will achieve your infinite happiness. Okay, so this is the essence, where whatever practice that you do, and of course if you don't practice Buddhism, that is one thing. If you practice Buddhism, if you think that you practice Buddhism, and if the emphasis is not happening on these two, particularly somebody who is following the Mahayana path, meaning somebody who intends to work for all sentient beings. So there, if the emphasis is not happening on these two things, the wisdom of emptiness and bodhicitta, then something is wrong. Something is wrong. One. Then the another thing is that again, a reminder, let us say that you meet with some teachers, and some teachers teach you only about bodhicitta, some teachers teach you only about wisdom of emptiness, some teachers teach you only about shamatha. And then, okay, what I learned is that we need to have both, but this teacher is teaching only shamatha, this teacher is teaching only wisdom of emptiness, only impermanence, only this, only that. So this teacher, don't blame the teacher. The point is, and what the other teacher is teaching you, if that is very authentic, that is good. Now your job is to get all these together. This is your job. Don't expect one teacher to give you everything. Your job, but the teacher's responsibility is to, whatever the teacher is giving, the teacher must give it very authentic. And you should also be wise enough to know whether that is authentic or not. Okay, so with this, then your job is to make sure that all these 4 points are intact. Single point meditation, shamatha practice, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness. Once the 4, and then some people who have, as I said earlier, with the exception of some people who have the gentleness by birth, very kind, and it may not necessarily from the birth. Even coming to the practice of Buddhism, your mind, you transform, you become very gentle and kind, helpful, steady. This is the key. Steady. Some people are so nice for first week, and then again go back to the square one. There's no point. The point is that okay, you come to Buddhism, practice Buddhism, you become very gentle, you become more and more gentle. Every time, every year, you become more and more gentle, you become more and more kind, and your mind becomes more stable, calm. If that is happening, and then they say somehow you're connected with, very strongly connected with the Tantra, fine, it's fine. And as long as your mind is tilted towards compassion, bodhicitta, wisdom, maintenance, that's fine. Okay, whereas for the rest of us, focus on this form, including myself, focus on this form. The rest of us, I don't think that you are exception. I'm also included. So the form, Singapore meditation, renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom, just focus on this form. This is good enough. In fact, even this much of material is too much. It will be more than what you can do in this life. And along with that, include the tantric practice in the form of prayers. Tantric practice in the form of prayers. Practically speaking, we should be very practical. In fact, I'm in this path for all these 34 years. I'm in this path. So I would say that with my own experience, I can say that just these four are good enough. And that tantra you can put in the form of prayers. If you already receive empowerments and then do your sadhanas, continue doing these things. Those who have not done that, put tantra in the form of prayers. Don't jump into it at this moment. Okay. Page 205. Continue reading this. Let's read them together. King of Concentration Sutra. Just as in the dream of a young girl, she knelt with the boy and saw his death. Those was she at the meeting, and in anguish at his death. We were all phenomena as thus. Are Nagarjuna's fundamentalism the middle way. Ceasing of actions and afflictions is to nirvana. Action of affliction arises from the conceptual thought. These arise from mental elaboration. Elaboration ceases through emptiness. Neither aggregates nor different from aggregates. Aggregates don't depend on him, nor is he dependent on them. But the Bible does not possess aggregates. Okay, so this is very important. We already did Acharya Chandra this reasoning of establishing emptiness by rejecting the 7 modes. Right? And Nagarjuna rejected 2. 1. Nagarjuna rejected 1. And some people say 2. Nagarjuna rejected 1. Acharya Chandra rejected 2. Nagarjuna rejected 1. Then who rejected 7? Buddha rejected 7. Wow. Buddha rejected 7. Where did you learn this from? From Geshe Damdul. Where did you learn this from? Jane, where did you learn this from? Jane? Geshe Damdul. Prashila, where did you learn this from? Geshe Damdul. Buddha rejected 7. And Nagarjuna rejected 1. Then Acharya Chandra rejected 2. Right? Where did you learn this from? You after the retreat you go out. Wow, the retreat is fabulous. The retreat is amazing. So intense. We learned a lot. High quality. We learned very profound. And everybody will be so happy. Very profound. They will be hesitant to ask you questions. Then they'll ask you slowly, they'll ask you, what you learn? Emptiness, very profound emptiness. What we learn? Rejection 1, rejection 2, rejection of 4, rejection 7. Who rejected 7? The Buddha rejected 7. Then Acharya Chandra rejected 2. Rejected 1. Wow, who's the retreat leader? Geshe Damdul. Wow. This is embarrassment to me. Please don't leave Kalachakra Center till you are able to say that Nagarjuna rejected the 5, the Buddha rejected 4, not 7. Actually, Chandragiri rejected 7, not 2. Okay, tell me. Actually, Chandragiri rejected 7 modes. Or Nagarjuna rejected 5 modes. And the Buddha rejected 4 modes. Very good. Okay, so what we are reading here is Nagarjuna's rejection of the how many? 5. Okay, let's see. Well, let's see this now. Neither the aggregates, meaning, okay, so what we did thus far was that we dissect ourselves in 6 elements. We see ourselves in 6 elements. There are so many ways of seeing ourselves in the different components. We see ourselves in the form of 6 elements. Likewise, we see ourselves in the form of 5 aggregates. We did that already, 5 aggregates. What are the 5 aggregates? Aggregate form, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness. 5 aggregates. What we have is the 5 aggregates. So Nagarjuna did it. Subjected the cell to the ultimate analysis on the basis of the 5 aggregates as well as on the basis of the 6 elements, both. So here what we're doing the 5 aggregates. So there, Nagarjuna said, neither the aggregates, meaning the self is not one with the aggregates, number 1. You getting it? Self is not one with the aggregates, number 1. No different from the aggregates. The self is not different from the aggregates, number 2. Aggregates don't depend on him, nor is he dependent on them. Okay, this we put it in a very easy format. Otherwise, the original version, the Tibetan and Sanskrit version, has it that Pumi Pumu Leshem, Telapume, Telapume. Telapume means that this does not have the aggregates, but the real connotation is the aggregates don't depend on him. Aggregates don't depend on him. But the original Tibetan has it that it does not have the aggregates. But the meaning is aggregates don't depend on him. Okay, so we put it like this for people to find it easier to use this in a meditation. Aggregates don't depend on him. This is the self to be dependee. Self to be dependent. Rejection of the self to be the dependee, because the aggregates depend on him means he becomes the dependee or dependent. Okay, I depend on you. Who's dependee? I depend on you. Who's dependee?
You.
Me. No.
You.
I depend on Zosangla. Who's dependee? I or Zosang? Zosang becomes a dependee. Okay, likewise, the aggregates don't depend on him. What is rejected? Him to be dependee rejected or him to be dependent rejected? Dependee rejected. Okay. The aggregates don't depend on him is the rejection of dependee. Nor is he dependent on them. Them refers to the aggregates. This is dependent is rejected. Dependent. How many rejections done now? 4 done. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. Possession is rejected. These are the 5 rejections. What is the Tathagata? So in your meditation, you can use the same stanza. You can use the, okay. In fact, I would like somebody to remind me. Because this morning I'm thinking of doing the meditation on the emptiness of the mind. And then this afternoon we have to continue with the Bodhicitta instruction. And which means both in Tashiva may get the opportunity for this one. So I'm thinking of doing a sample of emptiness meditation manual. Meaning that if you are to meditate on emptiness exclusively on emptiness, I spend about like half an hour, 1 hour on emptiness, just on emptiness, then how would you design a meditation? So this is what I'm thinking of doing. Okay, Tashila and oath should decide. This afternoon, we will go for emptiness or we will go for bodhicitta. Oath? Okay, then what we do is at the morning, the second session will do bodhicitta. Tashila will be here afternoon, right? Okay, afternoon you'll be here. Today. Okay. Tomorrow morning you will not be here. Okay. So this afternoon session the first session we will spend on the emptiness. Emptiness meditation. Emptiness meditation. How assemble. It's not that what I'm going to teach you is going to be only the format of meditation. This was not the indication. It's just a sample for you, and on that basis you will learn, okay, if I'm going to meditate exclusively on emptiness for about like 1 hour, 2 hours, then how to design it so that you will not feel it the cumbersome, no, you will feel it mechanical, no, you will feel it just within a short period meditation finishes, right? Okay, so how to make it the meaningful? I'll give you just a sample, and then on that basis later on you can design your own practice. Okay, afternoon. So the Tashila should remind me. Afternoon first session. What did I say? Afternoon first session. Okay, this second session we will do the Bodhicitta. Morning second session, Bodhicitta. Okay, good. So in the meditation, then you can these stanzas you must. Okay. By the way, during the meditation manual, which I'm going to share with you, you will note down the points from this. Many of the stanzas from this we're going to use for the meditation. Many of the stanzas. If you Tashila already is aware of all this, he has been with me for all this many years. Yeah. Okay. This is one of the stanzas. This is one of the stanzas. Okay, neither aggregates this stanza, then that which dependent originates is next stanza. Since there is no phenomena is next stanza, if the person is not earth, next stanza, just as a person is also in the stanza. Okay, these stanzas must be by heart. These stanzas must be by heart. These stanzas must be by heart. Neither aggregates starting from there. Stanza 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 stanzas must be by heart for your meditation. Then another one is another one is page 204, Upali requested sutra. Page 204. The various, do you see that? Various delightful flowers blossom. This stanza must be by heart. 1, 2, 3. Stanza 3. The various delightful flowers blossom, and the sparkling supreme golden apples stand so alluring. For none of these is their creator, apart by the power of thought. It's through conceptualizing the world's beauty. This sense must be by heart. And then the 205, the second last stanza, which reads King of Concentration Sutra. King of Concentration Sutra, 205. Do you see that? 205. Just, what is that? Just as in the dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Joyous was she at the meeting, and in anguish at his death. We were all phenomena. Have this stanza by heart as well. Have this stanza by heart. And then then 207. 207 is written as the 7 Dalai Lama's Guide to the Way of the Middle Way, a song of the 4 mindfulnesses. These two stanzas should be by heart. These two stanzas should be by heart. And then 208. 208. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for proliferating the Dharma lamp snows. The 2 stanzas by heart. 208. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for proliferating the Dharma lamp snows. Venerable Bhagavad Shebe Dorji, and so on. This stanza and the next stanza. These 2 stanzas by heart. Then finally, 209. Shiri Heruka. Shiri Heruka. This stanza by heart. Do you get it? Shiri Heruka stanza. This by heart. So these stanzas, minimum, these stanzas must be by heart, minimum. And later on, when you come across the very important texts on emptiness, you find some of the stanzas very powerful, you can pick them up, include them. But what I've given you now, these are the minimum. Minimum, you have to have these stanzas by heart. Okay, with this in mind, let's continue reading from where we left last time. Page 206. Neither aggregates, no different from the aggregate. Okay, let's all read this together. 208. 208. Oh, 206, sorry. 206. 206. Neither aggregates, no different from the aggregates. Aggregates don't depend on him, nor is he depend on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. God is the Tathagata. So when you use this for yourself, you can, instead of the Tathagata, you can replace the word with your own name. For example, the Tibetan version is Pongmin Pongbo Leshemen, Teva Pongmen Dedem, Deshin Sheba Pongmen, Deshin Sheba Kashi. This is the Tibetan version. Deshin Sheba means Tathagata. Pongmin Pongbo Leshemen, Teva Pongmen Dedem, Teva Pongmen Dedem, Doji Damdul Pongmen, Deshin, the Doji Damdul Kashi. So I can replace with mine your name. You can replace with your own name. Okay. And the next, that which dependent originates is posited to be independent existence. That which dependent designated is in a way. Since there is no phenomenon that is not dependent originated, there is no phenomenon that is not empty. Okay, the next, Aranigarjuna's precious garland. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, but also consciousness of all of them, there is a person of the Lord. Just a person is not truly existent. Says that also not truly existent as they are conditions of your own consciousness. Okay, these two stanzas are so important pertaining to the meditation on the emptiness of the self. Pertaining to the meditation on the emptiness of the self, on the emptiness of the person. So thus far, what we've been talking about is the flower. What's the flower? Flower's not there. What is there? Just atoms. Okay, this is just for just a very basic introduction to emptiness. Just as the flower disappears, even the atoms will also disappear. Even the atoms also don't exist truly. When we go to the atom, why we enter that atom is because that we are subjecting the flower to ultimate analysis. We do not subject the atoms to ultimate analysis. Now, just as we subject the flower to ultimate analysis and the flower disappears, we subject the atoms to ultimate analysis, atoms also disappear. In short, whatever you subject to ultimate analysis, you see that the object will disappear. Okay. This is what we need to keep in mind. And the first stanza is about the self. That's how the self is empty of objective existence. Then the second stanza is about each of the 6 elements. It's not that the self disappears and 6 elements are left here. Even each of the 6 elements, you subject them to ultimate analysis, each of the elements also will disappear, which means that we'll find the emptiness of that. Okay. I will continue reading this. Aranigarjuna, we read it or read it? Aranigarjuna's precious garland. Okay, let's read this again. If the person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, and not all of them, where is the person of the Just as the person is not truly existent, because of being a condition of 6 elements, Each element also is contributed system as the configuration of their own constituent. Are in regards to this commentary on Bodhicitta. Those who understand this empty soul phenomena, they are also confronted with the law of God and its results. There is more amazing than amazing, there is more wondrous than wondrous. Are Deva's quoted verses from Neguru. When dependent arising seeing, ignorance does not occur. Thus, through all efforts, try to find its subject. His word is the seventh Dalai Lama's guidance to Nidui, a song of the four mindfulnesses. The sphere of appearing and existing phenomena is pervaded by the space of the ultimate clear-light and suchness. Thus, the ineffable ultimate reality. Through this nature of emptiness to abandon the mental contrivances, don't let your mind go astray, but place it in the ambience of reality, through not losing mindfulness, or holding in the appearance of reality. At the crossroads of this expression of strength and consciousness, there are diverse perceptions, are seen the hazy dualistic phenomena which are wasted. There's a magical show that is by nature deceptive. Don't believe them to be true, but view them as a nature of emptiness. Don't let your mind go astray, but place in the nature of appearance emptiness. Do not losing mindfulness, hold in the nature of appearance emptiness. This holiness of holding the Dalai Lama's pray for proliferating the Dhamma blemish knows. Venerable Matam Lazawa, Shele Broji, Jisumedare, and so on. The host of the precious treasury, the source of blessings, the sheer honors and masters of this outstanding tradition. To you all I pray, may the Buddha Dhamma blemish knows all phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are the radiance of spontaneous awareness. Awareness itself rewarded with vibration is realized in the nature of mankind. Pervading all existences and appearance of samsara and nirvana is the great Mahamantra. May the Buddha Dhamma of the living snows faithful forevermore. In present Dhamma Dadu, impermanent suffering and empty, easily purified mind, a mind that is unsurpassed purified mind is the level of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer in the Lama's commentary on Arnegard to the fundamentalism of the middle way. For all our future lifetimes, we always be guided by the ministry and be able to hold the Dharma in general and the teachings of the Grand Tradition in particular, even the course of our life. Okay, finally, Shri Hirukasada. This is so precious, extremely precious. This is just the extract taken out from the Shri Hirukasada. And Shri Hiru is like Shri Kalachakra. Shri Kalachakra is the name of the Buddha. Buddha himself, Buddha Shakyamuni, he manifested in the form of Shri Kalachakra. Likewise, Buddha Shakyamuni himself manifested in the form of various Buddhas, various tantric and the deity Buddhas, like Shri Hiruka, Shri Charvasamvara, Shri Vajrabhairava, Shri Hevajra, then Shri the Vajrakilaya, and so forth. Innumerable deities. Now say, how the Buddhas, they choose their name. Shri Hiruka, this is the name of Buddha. Who is the name of Buddha? How they choose the name? Even choosing the name is for the benefit of the sentient beings. Even choosing the name is chosen in such a way that anybody who recites this will leave a profound impact on the mind. How? Let's see, the meaning of Shri Hiru. What is this meaning? Just look at the meaning. You'll be fascinated. If you understand the meaning of this, and you just say this Shri Hiruka, Shri Hiruka, Shri Hiruka. The wisdom of emptiness is constantly being activated within you. But without understanding this, of course the lessons are there, but the wisdom may not be activated. Okay, so if you know this, if you know the meaning, what is Shri, He, Ru, Ka, and then know the meaning very deeply. For example, let's say we talk about small child, very young, the child who is learning the vocabularies. First we have to teach them, today you will get a cheesecake. First they have to learn what is today. Then they have to learn what is you. What is will, not was. And then get, not got. And then the cheese. What is cheese? Then what is cake? The child has learned every word. But today, for example, say, okay, this afternoon we'll get cheesecake. True, really. everybody's laughing, smiling. Because it's so fast, your mind works so fast. Your mind simply they process information so fast. You know exactly what it meant. Today you get cheesecake this afternoon. Your mind works so fast. Likewise, Shiri Heruka. You know the meaning of them so precisely, well rooted, the way we are used to this sentence. Today you will get cheesecake this afternoon. Your mind, if it's trained so much to this Shiri Heruka, then anybody will recite Shiri Heruka, Shiri Heruka, Shiri Heruka. The wisdom of emptiness constantly being activated with you very profoundly. Okay, so first we'll read this together, then I'll try to explain this. Okay, with 40 tense. With 40 tense. Shiri Heruka, Shiri Heruka, Shiri Heruka. Hey is a surface phenomenon, emptiness of mind, which is the source of everything, as it is completely cause of nature. Ru is the self-ego person, emptiness of self that is fabricated by verbal conceptualization of thought that grasps of the person. Caused as absence of dissonant duality of subject and object. She is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with emptiness of object. This is the state of A. Okay. Now to understand this fully, okay, first let's listen. To understand this fully, the same we have to know Shiri. Okay, let's say Shiri Heruka. The 4 syllables. Shiri Heruka. We'll keep the Shiri last. Heruka Shiri. Heruka Shiri. For that, yesterday what we learned was that when we become sad, fear, okay, let's say at that time of death, so much of fear will come in us. And then the fears come in you. Because our mind can see the prospect of you leaving the body. So you leaving the body, you dying, that is the object of your mind, and then you don't want that. So that manifests in the form of so much of fear. So there, object and subject. You see the object as so solidified, objectified, and you see yourself as so objectified, so solidified too. The person as solidified, and the object, the phenomenon with which you interact, as so solidified. If you dissolve these two, the solidification, say the object that I'm dying, you see that like a dream, the death of a person in a dream, your fear dissolves. And who is dying? I'm dying, objectification of the self. When that dissolves, again, then I'm dying, I'm disappearing, that sense will dissolve. So, all the fear dissolves. In other words, all fear, agitation, somehow they're connected with the self and the object with which the person interacts. These two. With the Shiri Heruka, the sadhana and the holy name of the Buddha Shiri Heruka, you see that, hey, okay, let's say, you as a person, and the object with which you interact, and all these emotion stirs happening with you, sadness, fear, anxiety, and so forth. The self and okay, let's say, any feeling of discomfort that happens to you, any feeling of discomfort, be it your mistake or be it others' mistake, whatever, in all cases, the moment that discomfort comes to you, unhappiness, sadness, discomfort, any discomfort comes to you, self-grasping ignorance involved. The moment the self-grasping ignorance is dissolved, even if it is totally the other side responsible for creating problem on you, but your mind, mental agitation will not happen. Physically, there may be a little bit of damage, but your mind will not at all be affected. your mind will not be affected. So therefore, the point is so therefore, say the how you see the phenomena with which you see as emptiness, nature, how to see the self who is interacting with the phenomena as emptiness, nature too. For that, the Buddha taught the self-essence of person and the self-essence of phenomena, which Acharya Chandravritti is so in detail explained the self-essence of person and the self-essence of phenomena in Acharya Chandravritti's text, Madhyamika. Then the Bodhisattva Shantideva, in his book, Guided Bodhisattva, likewise explained emptiness in the form of self-essence of person and self-essence of phenomena. Now Shri Heruka is also will give you the beautifully will give us understanding of the self-essence of phenomena and the self-essence of person. Okay, how? First, Shri Heruka, Shri we keep it last, Heruka Shri. So hey. So let's say this is you, the person, and this is the phenomenon with which you interact. So what happens is that first you see that all this phenomena with which you interact, for example, you are interacting with the phenomena. For example, we're in the hall, the compa, this is the phenomena with which you interact. And then you're listening to what I'm saying, hearing the sound, this is one phenomenon. Then you go out, it's a beautiful sunshine, this is a phenomenon. And then you have, the good meal, very wonderful food. And then you have a wonderful interaction, good discussion. Then you see the beautiful stupa outside there, and the weather is so clear, fresh. You enjoy doing these things. And then after the retreat, you go out, you go to your respective places. Sometimes problems are there, sometimes good things are there. And then, this is how we interact with the world. And sometimes unbearable problems hit you, and sometimes everything is falling in place, happiness coming to you. This is all these emotional states are what experiencing through your mind, through yourself, through the person. You as a person, you interact with the world, the phenomena with which you interact. So when this happens, let's say you interact with this world, the way you do in the dream. Say first you start dreaming meaning that you start to create this dream. And the dream is whole world. It's not just a small dream, but the whole world. You create the whole world out of that. You look out and no, I can't really create all these. Look at these leaves outside. One tree with millions of leaves, my mind cannot project each of these leaves. This is what you think in your dream. And then likewise, you look at the sky. It's so beautiful. The sunlight is so beautiful. How can my mind possibly project all these things? Yet this is being done. So, the moment you create this, and then you are not aware that you're creating this, then they will start to affect us. With this what happens is that Shri Heruka. So, tell me, this dream that you're creating, the real dream, who created all this dream? Who creates all this dream? Your own mind creates. The phenomena with which you are interacting, they are nothing, but they are all created by your own mind. Like the way, the dream with which you interact, this dream is nothing but created by your own mind. Do you agree with me? The dream that you're having, this dream, however, the multiple things, numerous things that you're seeing, they're all nothing but created by your own mind. You create them, your mind creates this, and then you're unaware of this, and then you start interacting with this. You start reacting to this. So we see that all this phenomena, so you have to dissolve this phenomena, you have to dissolve the self, so that the agitation stops. First, to dissolve the phenomena with which you interact, the phenomena, we see that this phenomena which I'm interacting with, these are all created by your own mind. So finally we see that it is like the whole big balloon inflated into a tiny dot, like a very tiny balloon. You deflate this, that tiny big balloon, you deflate this, and then you see that all these big balloons will become very shrink, and inside it will become very tiny, small. Likewise, all these things that you see, the phenomena with which you interact, you see that they are nothing, but all the source is your own mind creating this. So everything will dissolve to the mind, number one. Mind. Now the phenomena, what is left now? Phenomena. Your mind is left. With the phenomena, your mind becomes like the representative of all the phenomena with which you're interacting, the mind. Now this mind, if you see that this mind, which is the creator of all the other phenomena with which you interact, when you see that this mind is also like a dream, then the phenomena dissolves. So this varied phenomena, they all dissolve into the mind, and the mind dissolves into emptiness. So there what happens, of the two sides, the person and the phenomenon dissolves completely. So how? For that matter, you have to know how to see say everything, like the dream, whole content of the dream, innumerable content of the dream. There, you wake up, you realize that they're all my mental creation. You're getting it? All these dreams will dissolve into your mind. Then your mind should dissolve into emptiness. Okay. For that matter, you have to know how to see the emptiness of the mind. If you see the emptiness of the mind, then what happens is that the phenomenal person of the two, you are able to successfully dissolve the phenomena into emptiness. Because all these phenomena, they arise from the mind. You see everything dissolves into the mind, and the mind dissolves into emptiness. So the phenomena with which the person interacts, this phenomena dissolves into emptiness. So that is the meaning of hey. Hey. Right? When you say hey, hey Ruka, hey, dissolve all phenomena of the mind, dissolve mind into emptiness. This is the meaning of hey. What is next? Ru. Okay, now the phenomena dissolves. Now what is left? Person is left. Person is left. Ru, the emptiness of the person. Dissolve the person. Now what is left? Hey, what is left now? No, what I'm saying is, okay, these two hands. One hand symbolizing yourself, other hand symbolizing the phenomena with which you interact. So first, hey, the phenomena dissolve. Ru, the person dissolve. What is left now?
Nothing.
Okay, non-duality is left. Earlier there are two. Earlier there are two dualities there. Now, say the hey, phenomena dissolves, surface of phenomena. Ru, surface of person. What is left now? The duality dissolves. There is no duality left. Non-duality is left. What is left now? Non-duality is left. Okay. Hey, Ru, Ka. Okay. This is the non-duality left. What is left is the Ka. Ka is what is left as non-duality. Ka. Next question. Who is seeing this non-duality? The wisdom of emptiness sees this non-duality. Okay. Non-duality seen by the wisdom of emptiness. How? Okay, yesterday Cecil was talking about the non-duality, right? You didn't talk about non-duality. You forgot. Huh?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that you mentioned non-duality twice. No, on 2 different days. Not on 2 different days, one even during the group discussion. Yeah. So what I'm saying, okay, with respect to the non-dual experience, and she was asking, with respect to non-dual the experience, what is the factor of the discrimination? All these things she asked, right? Okay, now with this non-duality, so what is left? Non-duality is left, right? This is what? Non-duality is Ka. Okay. Then the question is, who is seeing this? Okay, let's say Cecil is into the non-dual wisdom just now, and we are all watching her, right? We are all watching her. Cecil is going into the non-dual wisdom emptiness. Okay, we're in her. With respect to her, the phenomena is dissolved, the self dissolved. Now what is left with her? Non-duality is left, and we are all watching her. Right? Now, if I ask you, you are not into non-dual wisdom emptiness. I ask you, what is Cecil doing? What's your response? Oh, she's into non-dual wisdom of emptiness. Right? She's experiencing the non-duality. Which part of Cecil is experiencing non-duality? Her body or her mind? Her mind. Which mind? The wisdom. You're getting it? So her wisdom is experiencing the non-duality. Okay. Non-duality now. Non-duality becomes the object, and her wisdom is the subject. With respect to us, not with respect to her, with respect to us. But who is experiencing that? Cecil is experiencing it. So now, if you ask, what is Cecil doing? Oh, she is into non-dual experience. Non-dual experience, experienced by what? By the wisdom. Non-dual wisdom is experienced in non-dual, the non-dual object. This with respect to us. We describe this like this. Now this, what we see as this, for Cecil, what is this experience? For her, these two are next. The non-dual wisdom as the subject, non-duality as the object, these two are non-dual. You're getting it? For Cecil. For us, we said, yes, there's the wisdom. There's the non-duality, this object. For us, there's the duality. For her, even this, the non-dual wisdom, non-dual is the object, the wisdom as the subject, even these two are non-dual. For her, with respect to her. So that is the Shiri. That's the Shiri. Okay, let's do this again. Shiri Heruka. First, hey. Okay, let's say first, phenomenon, the person, you as the person. Okay, now imagine, each one of us will imagine ourselves. Okay, I am the person. And the world with which I'm interacting is a phenomenon. Two, I see myself as objectively real. I see the world, the phenomenon with which I interact as objectively real. In reality, the world with which I'm interacting, the phenomenon with which I'm interacting, there is nothing there that a play of my own mind. They all dissolve into the mind. Even this mind is the nature of, even the mind is the nature of emptiness. Okay, everything dissolves into mind. Mind, everything meaning the phenomena, all the phenomena with which I interact, this self interacts, they dissolve into mind. Mind dissolves into emptiness. So the phenomena dissolves. This is hey. This is the meaning of hey. Now only one is left. Self. The person is left. Now you see the emptiness of the self. The self dissolves in emptiness. That is the rule. This is rule. So what is left now? Non-duality is left. This is ka. This is ka. Right? This is ka. Now who is experiencing this? Right? Okay, you are in that state. You are in this state. If I ask you who is experiencing this?
C'est la sagesse.
No one.
When you say no one, you are not experiencing it. When you say you are not experiencing it. You cannot answer. You cannot answer. Only somebody outside will answer. Oh, his or her wisdom, non-dual wisdom experiencing this. So, there's the non-duality ka as the object and your non-dual wisdom as the subject. For you, one who's experiencing this, there's no distinction. These two are like the water poured in the water. For you, you're getting this is the meaning of Shiri. You're getting it? When that happens, no external factor can affect you. No external factor can affect you. And if that experience becomes so stable, when that experience becomes very stable, then what happens? Okay. Thank you, that's good. It reminds me of an important point. Okay, last time we did the what exactly is samsara? Finished? Huh?
Yes.
What exactly is nirvana? Finished?
Yes.
Then what exactly is what? Renunciation. Finished? Okay, now what exactly is cognitive obscurations? What exactly is cognitive obscurity? This is the question. Okay, yes, no hurry, no hurry. Okay. So with this, we will read this. We will read this Shiri Hiruka and see if you can understand something. Okay, let's read this again with 40 times, 3 times. Shiri Hiruka, Shiri Hiruka, Shiri Hiruka. He is the surface of phenomena, the emptiness of mind, which is the source of everything, as it is related to causal nature. Ru is the surface of person, the emptiness of self, as category of the verbal conceptual thought, and rather the surface of person. By the ultimate reality, the absence of the discernment parameters of such an object. Shiri is the non-real consolidation that arises in congruence with the emptiness of the object. This is the meaning of A1. Okay. Now with this, if you turn to page 208, His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for paraphrasing the Dharma of the Lamps noise. The first stanza is more like invoking the blessings of the great teachers, like the Mantra Zawa is just Milarepa's teacher. And how many of you heard about how many of you learned, read, heard the story of Jesus Milarepa? How many of you have not heard the story of Jesus Milarepa? Jane?
Just a little. I know it just the story, but just a few.
Okay. Okay, how many of you have not heard about Jesus Milarepa's story? 1, 2, 3. Oh, Mark, how come?
Maybe I forgot.
Okay.
Well, sorry.
Okay, anybody else?
Il y a un film sur Milarepa.
Oh, you have seen the film of Jim. Yes. That's very good. If you can watch the film, that's very good. Just nowadays Google search, you find it. Jesus Milarepa's life story, film. The film is there. Very good. Not complete, it's not complete, that's true. It's not complete. There's a life story of Jesus Milarepa available in English, in French also. French, I'm not too sure. In English, both are there. The long version and the short version, both are there. In French, I'm not too sure. Anybody who knows about the English? You must read that Jesus Milarepa story, right?
Book.
In French?
Oui, yes.
Oh, very good.
Oui, yeah.
So I'm in French, English, both are there.
Oh,
Very good. Okay, so the first stanza, there is Jesus Milarepa. The first stanza is to invoke the blessings of these great teachers. Then second stanza, all phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana. In this world, we look at the phenomena. We see that phenomena. There are many ways by which to classify the phenomena, and one way is to classify the phenomena into samsara and nirvana. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana, but the radiance of spontaneous awareness of the mind. Awareness here meaning the mind. What we said is that the dreaming mind. Okay, tell me, all the contents of the dream, they come from where? From your mind, the dreaming mind. Dreaming mind creates all these things. Likewise, what we are seeing now, they're all arising. You see these in the form of dark or light. Hey, light meaning you see light. This light, we see that this light is coming from these bulbs, and outside the light is coming from the sun. In actuality, if your psychology, the study of the Buddhist psychology, not just the the psychology or Western psychology. I'm talking about Buddhist psychology. If you know about the workings of the subtle mind, you will realize that the light of the bulb lights, even the light of the sun, they are nothing. They are also coming from your own mind. These are the light of your own mind. It's not just what do you call it? It's just it's not metaphorical. It's not literally. These lights are all your own mental light. So it says that all phenomena, second stanza, all phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. Radiance meaning the light. Your mind, your awareness, like the dreaming mind, radiates in the form of all these phenomena. Okay, in the dream, you dreamt of being in sunlight while you are in a total dark. You are sleeping in a total dark place. You dreamt of being in daylight, and you dreamt of the beautiful sun, right? You dreamt of the source of light illuminating everything. They are nothing but all coming in just part of your own dream. Right? Even these lights, which you see are so bright, okay, this color, that color, all these are things that just come from your own dreaming mind. Likewise, all what we see now, literally, it's not just metaphorical. Literally, all these lights that we are seeing, they are all coming from your own mind. Right? So to reach to that level of understanding is not that easy. It takes a little time. For that matter, we have to study more of the Buddhist psychology. Okay, just for information. What happened was that once, when I was very young, I may be age 8 or 9, age 8 or 9, and then Geshe Damdul was also we were in the same school, and he was also very young, both very young, and then I had the blazer, no, the zipper coat,
Cardigan.
a jacket, yeah, a light jacket, zipper. Cardigan, yes, cardigan. Cardigan. Okay. Color of that was, I think, blue. Color of that was blue. And then one time in the winter, the school put the what do you call it? Fluorescent light. Put a new fluorescent light outside the hall. Fluorescent light outside the hall. And I was very young. And then after the evening program in the hall, we went out. The color of what do you call it? Cardigan. The color of my cardigan or the jacket changed. I thought, what happened to the color of what happened to my jacket? It's very different. Then the question came to me, which is the real color? Is this the real color? Or what I'm seeing in the daytime is the real color? Which is the real color? That was the question that came to me. Likewise, that was when I was age 8. Likewise, all what we see now as colors and so forth, literally they're all coming from your own mind. Literally. It's not just metaphorical. Literally. Okay, so it says, all phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. All what we are seeing, they are all just coming from your own mind. Awareness itself, now, look, hey. So this actually explains my hey. So everything dissolves into your mind, awareness, and if this awareness is also empty of objective existence. Awareness itself, awareness or the mind is the same. Awareness itself, devoid of elaboration. Devoid of elaboration meaning devoid of objective existence. Elaboration has many connotations. This word elaboration is used in many ways. Here, elaboration in the context of the objective existence. Objective existence. Awareness itself, devoid of objective existence, is realized in the nature of Dharmakaya. So what happens? Everything dissolves into the awareness, Awareness dissolves into emptiness. What is left? With respect to you, what is left? With respect to you, what is left? Nothing is left here. It doesn't mean that nothing is there. With respect to you, with ultimate analysis, you stop projecting everything. So that experience is known as the ultimate reality. That expanse of the reality that you see now is the ultimate reality. And that is described as something which is indescribable. Existence is not there, non-existence is not there. Existence is not there, non-existence is not there. Right? You cannot describe that experience as existent or existent. You have seen some existence. No, in that experience, existence is not there. Existence is not there doesn't mean that non-existence is there. No, even non-existence is also not there. Yes, it's not there. No, it's not there. Both are not there. So this is known as the indescribable thing. Whereas where we describe, oh, this is good, this is white, this is not white, this is blue, this is not blue. That distinction makes sense in the conventional sense. In the conventional sense, where you are in the ultimate domain. You are in the ultimate domain. So therefore, what you're experiencing is the undescribable. Okay. That is known as the great Mahamudra. Pervading all existence of appearance in samsara nirvana is the great Mahamudra. May the Buddha Dhamma levels knows place forevermore. If you experience this, what's the benefit? If you experience this, then with respect to you, nothing can affect you. Nothing can affect you, so therefore all your fears dissolve. Fear means, okay, something may affect me. Something may affect me. Something will go wrong with me. No, there's nothing to go wrong. So therefore you dissolve all your fears. This experience is so precious. And this experience can become so deep if your wisdom of emptiness becomes deep. So I highly suggest, request, appeal that no matter whatever practice that you do, meanwhile always keep track, always keep in touch with the study, reflection, meditation, emptiness. Always. Although you may have your personal practice, different practice, fine, you do this practice, continue, but wisdom of emptiness, never ever let go of that wisdom of emptiness. Study, reflection, emptiness. It is like, say you do your own job, and out of the salary, put $10, 10 euros every month in the bank. Tell the bank to deduct 10 euros, right? You're unaware of it, doesn't matter, let it happen every month. And after a while, a huge accumulation will happen. Likewise, just keep doing something. Although, this is very complicated, very profound, I cannot really understand it. Okay, but I'll just keep doing this along with the other practices. Just keep studying, reading something. For example, this book. You can read like 1 page a day, half a page a day, every day. Meanwhile, the wisdom of emptiness will be activated. Every day that is activated. And then what happens, it is not like, we have to wait for eons and eons. Because wisdom of emptiness is so profound. And activation is just 10 euros a month, which is so less. No, don't worry. Initially it's like 10 euros, but you wouldn't believe how the progress of the mind is very different. Progress of the mind and the accumulation of wealth is very different. Progress of the mind is like the flying of the aeroplane. Flying the aeroplane, first the aeroplane has to be pushed by a small cart. Small cart has to push the aeroplane. So once the aeroplane is put on the track, then the aeroplane will fly at what speed? Hey. Then the airplane flight, Virginia?
What you said?
Huh?
I have no idea.
1,000
kilometers. Done like this. How many you been in aeroplane? On the aeroplane you say, and on the track, runway, then suddenly 1,000 kilometers. Yes? No, 1 kilometer per hour. Dig, 1 kilometer per hour. And if this is how it moves, 1 kilometer per hour, it says it will reach India in just 6 hours. How does it reach within 6 hours? It's moving at 1 kilometer per hour. In 6 hours means 6 kilometers. From France to India is not 6 kilometers, it's not thousands of kilometers. How will it? Never mind. First it has to move 1 kilometer per hour. Then 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers. At 300 kilometers per hour, then it can fly. Then it takes off. Then it goes to 400, 500, 600. Usually it's like 800 kilometers per hour. And then the bigger ones can go can go more, but then usually they go like 900, 1000 kilometers. Okay, this says, how the speed is being picked up. Likewise, just keep doing something and your mind constantly is sharpened, and then the speed increases. The speed of your learning, speed of your experiencing automatically increases. Don't think that, okay, I was not really doing good in studies in school, I'm not a really good student in school, couldn't study, so this is not really my job. No, believe it or not, just keep reading like this, study, listen to His Holiness and Dharma's teachings from the online. Just keep doing this. Over time, within a span of 1 year, 2 years time, your sharpness will increase. On top of the knowledge accumulation, your sharpness of the mind will increase. Okay, in fact, what happened was that there was a couple, husband and wife. And the wife came to me. And the husband was doing the studies. And the wife told me that, if you do this knowledge of studies, guarantee 100% the one will become very sharp. The wife was not doing the studies and that study. But she noticed her husband, the change that she saw. Within a span of 2 years' time, she saw that the husband, the intelligence increased dramatically because of studying the philosophy. So this is what's so visibly seen. Okay. Good. Now, empty the mind. Ready? Okay, how many of you don't want to experience the agitation of mind? Mental sadness, feeling low sometimes. How many of you don't want to go through this experience? Okay, if you really don't want to go through this experience, you have to meditate. You should learn how to see the emptiness of these agitations, emptiness of this heaviness of mind. You ready? Ready? I mean, ready? Yes. Okay, you all ready? Okay, if you're ready, the emptiness of mind. Just as for the flower, you subject the flower to ultimate analysis. Okay, first your job. Tell me, how did you subject the flower to ultimate analysis? Yes, Laura.
You go closer?
Okay, go closer to the flower. Very good. Go closer to the flower. Then?
And then you see that the flower is composed of many parts.
Okay, in a way what you're saying is that don't just say go closer to the flower. Then everybody go closer to the flower, they say, still don't see any emptiness. Go closer towards the flower by crossing the border of the
Conventionality.
or by crossing the border of the conventionality. Okay, you go closer towards the flower and cross the border of the conventionality, then you will reach to the ultimate analogy. Then your analysis will switch from the conventional to the ultimate. This is how we subject the flower to ultimate analysis. In other words, we try to say, we go to level whereby you try to look for the flower amidst the parts. Right? Okay. Likewise, the mind that we have agitation, feeling pain, feeling sorrow, feeling heaviness. So this mind is also conventionally existent, which means it doesn't exist ultimately. Conventional existence means if you go into ultimate analysis, you will not find that. It means that it is also dependent originated. Even this mind is also dependent originated. How is this mind dependent originated? Just as the flower is dependent on its the multiple atoms, multiple cells, multiple atoms, multiple electrons, protons, and so forth. Likewise, this cell comes into origination by dependence on the 6 elements or the 5 aggregates. Likewise, the mind comes into existence by dependence on the temporal segments of the mind. Temporal segments of the mind. What does it mean by temporal segments of the mind? Okay, this is very important. Temporal meaning time. Temporal meaning time. Segments in time. For example, say you exist in space. You exist in space because you have the directional paths, east, west, north, south. You exist in space. Space has directional paths. And you also exist in time. Space and time. You also exist in time. Meaning that, when I was 20 years ago, I was very young. 20 years ago, I was very young. 20 years ago, Thomas was just 3 years old. Right? And Jane?
12.
12 years old. Okay. Okay, most of us already knew the 20s, right? Okay, this is not my business. Okay, what I'm saying is that, 20 years ago I was very young. Okay, now I'm 20 years older than what I was 10 years ago. Which means that we speak of time, we don't speak of the space. Whereas we say that, I need a cushion with 2 feet by 2 feet, which means we are talking about the space, direction space. Whereas, when I was 20 years ago, I was in school, I was in college, so that we were talking about the time. Mind, because it does not have the physicality, the mind does not exist in space, don't forget it. Because mind does not have the physicality, mind does not exist in space. It only exists in time. Whereas the physicalities exist in time as well as space. All impermanent phenomena should exist in time, including the mind. But only the physical objects, they exist in time as well as space. Don't forget it. The mind does not exist in space because it does not have a physical form. Very good. So the mind does not exist in space, it only exists. The mind exists only in time. Because the mind exists in time, and the time has segments. Time is made of segments. Meaning, say, today I'm very happy. Today I'm very happy. Which means that today is made of 24 hours. First hour mind, second hour mind, third hour mind. These are the segments of today's mind. First hour mind is also made of how many segments? First hour mind is made of how many segments? 60 segments. First minute mind, second minute mind, third minute mind, fourth minute mind, and so forth. Right? Okay. So then we see that the mind is composed. Mind is the composite phenomena. It is composed of temporal segments of the mind. Right? Okay. This is one thing you have to keep in mind. With this, now what is time? This question. What is time? Anybody? Yes, Shaw?
Le temps n'existe pas non plus. C'était juste une conception de notre esprit de tenir compte du changement.
So the time doesn't exist, it's just a conception that we have in mind when we are aware of changes.
Can we calculate the time? Can we calculate the time? Okay, so the Venerable Kunkela showed me the card. What card is that? Show this to everybody. Show this to Charles. Put it to Charles. Okay, what is this card? Tell me time up. Tell me time up. So time is there. You can measure the time. You get it? You can measure the time. Time exists. Okay. Yes, Tashila. Yes. Time exists. My question is, what is time? This is my question. Jane?
Non, je voulais juste ajouter quelque chose sur le fait que le temps est toujours relatif, comme Einstein l'a démontré par exemple. Le temps sur Terre, quand la gravité est importante, va s'écouler beaucoup plus lentement que dans l'espace ou à des vitesses importantes.
So time is relative, as Einstein said, that for instance on the planet Earth the gravity is stronger, so time is getting more quicker than in space. Slower than in space.
Time, the Jane is talking about time dilation. Time dilation, Albert Einstein's concept. Time is a relative phenomenon. Very good. Okay, Sophie, what is time? This is also convention, right? Time and this was same. What is time? What is Sophie? Don't say Sophie's convention. Yes. To the Mujala.
Succession of moments.
Succession of moments. That's good. Succession of moments. Succession of moments. Okay, succession of moments. So the one moment. Is it time or not? One moment.
It's made of moments also. It is also made of moments.
One moment is made of moments.
Yes.
Which is more, one moment or moments? Okay, succession of moments. This is interesting. What is time? Time is succession of moments. Time is succession of moments. Is this time? This is succession of moments, right? No. No, it is not succession moments. It is a moment. It's not a moment. It's one day. If it lasts for one day, it's one day.
Time is formless.
Then where is the moment? Okay, anyway, what Kunjana said is beautiful. Succession moments, succession moments. Okay, Maria?
Je vais reprendre le mot instant à la place du moment. C'est une succession d'instants. Donc le passé est passé et le futur n'est pas encore advenu. On est juste dans l'instant présent.
So the time is a succession of instants, like movements. And the past and future don't really exist.
L'instant passé est déjà passé.
The past is already past.
Et l'instant futur n'est pas encore advenu. Et on est juste dans cet instant très présent.
In this present instant.
We are on the present moment. Okay. Martin?
Le temps est un phénomène qui permet aux autres d'apparaître et de disparaître, d'exister conventionnellement.
Time is a phenomenon which allows other phenomena to arise and cease and to exist conventionally.
Okay, where is time then? Which allows us, we have to look for this time. Where is it?
No, it has no form, it can be anywhere.
It can be anywhere.
No, it cannot be anywhere because it has no form.
There's no form.
So it cannot be anywhere.
It can be anywhere or cannot be anywhere. Can be anywhere or cannot be anywhere. Okay, good. Yes, Thomas?
Unity of measure of subtle impermanence of the consciousness by the consciousness. Unité de mesure de l'impermanence subtile de la conscience par la conscience.
That's a measure, a measure unit made by of subtle impermanence of the mind,
By the
made
mind.
by the mind. Yeah.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, Bas.
Impermanent phenomena that is neither mind nor matter.
Okay, phenomena which is neither mind or matter. Okay, Bas is time.
But is time?
Are you time?
I'm not time.
You are not. You are impermanent phenomena, not physical, not mental.
As a person, yeah.
Yeah. Is it time?
Right, cool.
Okay. Jane, last, Jane, yes.
Le temps advient des rapports d'impermanence entre les objets entre eux, c'est-à-dire de transformation des objets eux-mêmes, les uns vis-à-vis des autres.
So time arises from un rapport de...
Ça établit le rapport d'impermanence d'un objet, donc proportionnel vis-à-vis d'un autre objet.
So time is something like a relationship of impermanence between two objects.
That's interesting.
C'est intéressant.
Okay, relation between two objects. Only with respect to objects we can speak about time. Is what you're saying?
Par rapport à l'impermanence.
In relationship
With impermanence. For example, something which existed 9 days ago, the flower which is 9 days ago, and now the flower today, flower 9 days ago, we can speak about time. Because it changed impermanence, so we can speak about the time relation between these two objects. Same objects seen in two different times. Okay, wonderful, amazing. We can speak about the time, saying we need to think about the characteristics of the time. Characteristics of the time. Okay, I need, before we leave for tea break, I need some of the characteristics of time. Yes, Howard?
It's that which allows the measurement of change. It's that which allows change to be perceived, in fact. So, I mean, like before the Big Bang, there was time did not exist. And I mean, it was said to come into existence with the Big Bang.
Okay, let's say that the time allows, time is one of the characteristics of the time is to allow changes to happen. Very good. Anyone else?
Un repère qui permet d'établir une transformation pendant une certaine période.
Un repère, comment dire repère en anglais? Qui a une idée? Un repère? Or something like this.
Un référentiel.
A mark. That est un repère qui...
Donc qui permet de constater, un repère qui permet de constater l'évolution d'une chose pendant une période déterminée ou indéterminée.
So that's a mark that allows us to be aware of the evolution of a thing during some period.
Okay, mark which allows us to see the evolution within a specific span of time. Very good. Yes.
It has no beginning and no end.
Okay, it has no beginning, no end. Very good. One of the characteristics. Okay, Virginia.
It does have a beginning, though. It came into beginning with the
Okay, it doesn't matter. Virginia?
Can be perceived in a subjective manner.
Say it again.
Can be perceived.
It is something which can be perceived in a subjective manner. Okay, for the time, what we can say is that it has no beginning, the time has no beginning, no end. Even the Big Bang Theory, according to Big Bang Theory, there's a speculation that the singularity is the beginning of time and space. Before that, there's no time and space. This is what the belief. This is belief. It is not still finalized. Even the quantum physicists, what they say is that they are two divergent views. One say that it's a single Big Bang. If it is a single Big Bang, then before that, there's no time. There's the beginning of the time, the singularity. Whereas many scientists, they believe in multiple Big Bangs. Multiple Big Bangs. So there, the time is infinite. Infinite. Multiple Big Bangs mean that the Big Bang. Okay, now at the moment we can see that this universe has started from a Big Bang. We can calculate it through the Doppler effect. Doppler effect, there's one experiment. Research. Through that we can see that the universe is expanding. If the universe is expanding, the 100 years it is smaller, 1 million years still smaller, 1 billion years still smaller, 15 billion years, or everything should be together. 15 billion years ago. So Big Bang is believed to have started 15 billion years ago. At that point, how it began was in the form of it is a speculation. So they label it as a singularity. It is speculation. And then, if this is what is happening, now let's see. Say that it is expanding, and how long will it expand? How long this expansion of the universe will accelerate, keep accelerating. It is like a gunshot. You shoot the gun, first it will accelerate, and then it will reach a peak point, and then it will de-accelerate. And then it will stop. Likewise, the expansion of the universe, at the moment it is accelerating expansion. At a certain point it will stop accelerating. Then it will stop accelerating, then it will slow down. And then remain a static point. From there, what happens because of the gravity, everything will go back. That is the Big Crunch. Again, it explodes. Big Bang, Big Crunch, Big Bang. Big Bang is time, Big Crunch is time. Big Bang is time. If that is the case, then it's infinite. There's no beginning to the time. This is according to one class of physics. Okay, very good. So we came up with some characteristics. So the second session we'll continue with this. We will stop here.
Bodhiswara